Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode with Hangar Control, and today we are here with X-Plane 12. We're going to do a very basic binding in none other than the classic Cessna 172, and then we will talk about what is to come at the end of this video for Hangar Control with X-Plane 12, so stick around. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. Alright folks, so first up, as always, if you guys are interested in trying out Hangar Control, be sure to go to overkillsimulations.com, create an account first, then click the account button at the top of the site, then download the software and start a 5 free unrestricted day trial of the software. Now keep in mind, Hangar Control does so much more than just control bindings. Okay, it can control all of your applications, launching your applications by profile. Simple click of a button and it will launch applications. It will launch websites. It can launch websites together. It can launch them independently. You can also set bindings to a specific window where you push a button on your controller. It will bring that window to the front so you can see it, and then push a button and it hides it once again. Same thing with websites. Handles all of your mods, tools, add-ons, profiles, etc., and has a bunch of other really neat config tools inside of it that will help you optimize your experience with your favorite game or simulator, which is another stress point. This is not just restricted to flight simulation. Anyway, so the first thing that we're going to want to do now for X-Plane is you want to go into your settings window and you want to make sure that you have your root directory placed in here. Auto detect works 99.99% of the time. Just make sure that when you see it, it looks right. And then always make sure that you come down here to the bottom and hit Save Changes. Otherwise, the X-Plane plugin will not be deployed. Same thing with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Since we're on the topic, 2024, you want to make sure that each of these community folders are exact and correct for their respective simulator. And again, be sure to hit Save. Now, if you make a change that was unregistered, when you hit back, it will warn you. But since mine is already there, it's already there and ready to go. So now let's get into how to actually start creating our profiles and get this show on the road. All right, so let's get right into it. First thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you hit control bindings. By the way, before we get into that, guys, do not worry about what this says. This is a UI feature that is still in the works. You're not really too concerned about that. Then go into control bindings. What you really want to see is this, which should show the aircraft that's currently loaded. But even then, there could be some stipulations in the way it's handled in the plugin. Don't always rely on that when it comes to X-Plane. Microsoft Flight Simulator, both of those should be right on the money. X-Plane, a little bit different. I'm still making tweaks to it, but they're just UI tweaks. Don't rely on them as far as determining what's happening, what's not. So we're going to go to Add Hangars, and we want to make sure that we select the correct template whenever possible. Currently, the only ones that are really critical are Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane, as this is what tells Hangar Control when you start your service, which is what's required to actually send commands to the simulator. This is what tells Hangar Control which service to look for. Am I using SimConnect, WASM module, etc., or am I using the X-Plane plugin? So this is a pretty critical piece. All right, so now we're going to just title this X-Plane, and we'll just call it X-Plane 12. And we'll hit OK there. We're going to add a profile. We're going to call this our Cessna 172. And of course, Adobe's picking right now to do an update. And let's see here. That's all we want for the moment. We're going to come over to Choose Devices, and we're going to keep this one very simple today. We're going to do Bravo. We're going to do our rudder pedals, and we're going to do the Aeromax Cadet. I have all these sitting on my desk. Now, at the time of this video, this last week, just a couple days ago, Hangar Control implemented support for the Logitech radio panel and Knobster. Stream Deck has already been in support. Stream Deck might, at the time of this video, work with X-Plane 12. It is untested at the moment. Then that's all we're at. The coding should be there, but it is untested. The Logitech radio panel at the time of this video will not, but it will be within a day or two. It's not going to take me long. Knobster should be fully operational. So just wanted to give you guys that heads up. Let's go ahead and save changes. That takes us back to our config view. So choose devices. Pick what you want for your particular profile. Calibrate axis. If you notice that there's an issue with the axis, you can go in and calibrate your axis. Now, Hangar Control already has my library. I've done a couple of different videos on how to do that, and the documentation shows it as well. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to start the service, and I'm also going to bind to aircraft. Aircraft successfully bound to profile 172. Okay, so now, if I go back out and go back in, you can see that we have a green dot now. The green dot indicates that the profile Cessna 172 is active and that Hangar Control has detected that the aircraft that this is bound to is also present at the moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into our Bravo and let's just begin with the works. We're going to clear the yokes out and we're going to check our throttle. Yep, that's the one we want. Hit add. For X-Plane, commands are going to be used for all of your buttons and switches. Data refs are going to be for all of your, like, for those of you coming from Microsoft, sim bars and your axis, right? So we're going to use data ref. We're going to go to browse. We're going to look for throttle. I'm going to sort by name here. I will say that the X-Plane stuff can be a bit harder to find, and it should be this one right here. Engine, actuators, throttle, ratio 0 for throttle engine 1 is what we should be using. And we're going to hit use axis range. We're going to hit save. And now when I move that throttle, boom, there we go. Working perfect, okay? We're going to do the same thing with our mixture. Let's find our mixture knob. It's going to be this guy way down here on the bottom. And just like before, data ref. We're going to browse. And we're going to look for a mixture. Sim, and nope. That's not the one we want. We want the data ref. There it is right there. Can already see it. It's these guys right here. So we're going to select that one. Use axis range just like we did before. And hit save. Boom. Alright. So now we're going to hit back for a minute. And we're going to go to our yoke. Go ahead and turn it back on. And let's see here. We're going to want these. I'm not going to lie. The ailerons and elevators I personally found a bit harder to find. But they are here. So let's see. Well, hopefully I'll get it right in the first try this time. Let's see here. No, no, and no. None of those are what we're looking for. And I think I want... Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I want roll, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see if we can find it. No, it's not there. Let's look for roll. I always have trouble finding this one. And let's see here. We're getting close. Controls, roke. Controlling yaw, controlling pitch. Let's see if that's right. This says multiplayer though. I don't think this is the right one. I think I did. I think I picked this one before on accident and it's wrong. So you guys get to experience this with me. Yep, I knew it. I knew that was wrong. And I second guessed myself and I was like, oh, maybe that's it. I mean, it says it. And these descriptions are coming straight out of the X-Plane documentation, so it makes it even more confusing. We're going to go down to joystick. I know it's under joystick. So let's do this. Sort for joystick. We're going to search for roll. And one of these, use roll, yoke roll ratio. Yoke roll ratio. There it is. It is that one. We're going to hit save. We're going to hit save. And now we should get some deflection. Hey, watch out. He can be taught. And now we're going to go to data ref once again. Now we've picked our axis for our elevators. And we're going to do just like we did before this time. We're not going to mess around. We're going to go to joysticks. Expand that a bit. And we're going to just look for pitch. And let's see if I can find it. Yoke pitch ratio. Yes, that should be it right there. Save. Use axis range. Hit OK and save again. And we have control, Houston. Okay. So now let's get those guys back out of there for a minute. And let's move to our next one. Go back to the devices and let's find our rudder. And we're going to go to add axis again. Data ref. Browse. And we're going to find a rudder. And this one's even weirder. This one's very misleading. And we're looking for a ratio again. Should sort like that. Oh, you know what? I think we actually wanted to look for yaw is what we wanted, but hang on. Let's try joysticks again. And we're going to look for yaw this time. I believe it is this one. Use, save, save. Let's kick that rudder pedal. Hey, it is ready, but it is facing the wrong direction. So we want to go axis tune and invert. Save and save again. There we go. All right, next. Which one of these is my brake pedal? All right, so that's the left brake. This was one that actually gave me a hell of a time. I had to make an edit to the plugin for these to work, which is funny too, because in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it was a pain in the butt getting the brakes to work there too. Okay, so we are looking for brakes. And it's not the add, it's ratio. It should said left brake ratio, right brake ratio, speed brake. We're getting close. There we go. So this is the left brake ratio. Hit save. Oh, I hit command. I meant to hit data ref. If you select the wrong one, the big indicator will be is that Hangar Control won't accept it. And I know that can be sort of a pain, but it's to let you know right away that you have a problem. So let's try that again. And I think we wanted brake, not brakes. Let's do this. Let's look for, I believe it was left underscore. Brake ratio. There we go. That's what we wanted right there. Select, use axis range, save, and save. Like I said, X-Plane for me, I find to be far more cumbersome to bind, but there we go. We have a left. And I think it's just a matter of learning, right? You learn. So a neat trick that you can do here, though, is we're going to copy all that. Just Control-C to copy. We're going to close. We're going to go to our next one. We're going to add. Make sure it's the data ref. Double-click until you get your cursor. And we're just going to change that to right. And use. Save. And we have 2 working brake pedals. All right, so there's all of our axis bound that we should need for X-Plane 12's Cessna 172. Let's move to some of the primary control bindings. All right, so as we get into some of the electrical controls here, I don't know why that was so hard to get that word out, but that was ridiculous. But as we get into the electrical bindings, there's something I want you guys to be aware of, and maybe you can help me. As far as I'm aware, I have scoured the globe. I have scoured the internet. I have scoured long, far away worlds in the deepest reaches of the galaxy, and I cannot find for the default Cessna 172 a way to map bus 2 on your avionics switch. Bus 1 works just fine. You can even bind it to just bus 1. You can bind it to avionics bus toggle, but only 1 toggles. So I did want you guys to have that heads up as we get into this, that I don't know how, if there is a way, and if you do, please let me know. By the way, please be sure to join the Discord. The link to our Discord is in all of the videos that I have ever posted. Make sure you guys join the community, come hang out, talk some Hangar Control, geek out, and flight simulation, you name it. We're all there to help and have a good time. So let's begin. So now we're going to go into our Bravo throttle quadrant, and I'm going to find my switches that I want. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, make sure that before you go binding anything in Hangar Control, that any of your controls with inside of the simulator are cleared. So for example, our Bravo throttle in X-Plane is completely dead. It is wiped clear. There is 0 bindings attached to it in the X-Plane simulator. Everything's being handled through Hangar Control. And the same would be with any other simulator. You always want to make sure that if you're setting controls in one app that they are cleared in the sim. Otherwise, they'll step on each other. So first, let's start. We're just going to work our way from left to right. Generator is where we're going to start here. All right, so here we go. We're going to click on that button right here. It's going to bring up our selection menu. Now we're going to go to SimConnect. We're going to go to, this is going to be a command, or not SimConnect. We're going to click there and select command. And here we're going to look for generator. I know we always want to look for alternator, but that is not right. And we want generator 1 on. And the very next button, I'm just going to select generator 1 off. Oop, why can't I spell today? Although, actually, I just realized what I selected on that last one. And the beautiful part about these, I will say that I do like, is they do sort of make this a little bit easier than, in some ways, than Microsoft. We'll just copy this, right? So we change that to on in case you guys missed that. Now I'm going to come over here, do a command. That one's, set that to off. And then now that's going to flip them both on because of the nature of how that switch actually works in real life. There's a little tab right here at the top that will push them both in. So, but let's go ahead and map the battery too, just because we're here, right? And so we're going to go to our commands, browse. I'm just going to look for battery. There's battery 1 on, battery 1 off. But again, you really only need the one. This makes it real simple. So we're just going to copy that, hit save, go to the next button, select command, paste, off. And so now, perfect, right? Let's see here. What else are we going to work with today? We'll work with the autopilot stuff later. Let's do something fun. I'm going to show you guys something kind of cool, actually. Let's do the magnetos. Let's get the avionics mapped, and then we'll do the magnetos. So we're going to do the avionics switch, which, like I said, as far as I know, this is the only option that we have. But we're going to find out. Oops. We're going to go to, and that's the other cool part. If you're selected to the wrong thing, it will alert you and tell you. But we're going to go to command. Let's go to browse command. Let's check avionics. See, this is what I got. This is it. And this is straight out of the that's going to take so hard to get rid of that. It comes straight out of the X-Plane list. It actually ships with the software. So if you guys know a better way, please tell me. But we're going to go with avionics on. Save. I'm going to copy it. Save all. Go to the next button. Command. Change that to off. And save. And now we should get... But it's just that one. So we're still going to have to come down and flip 2 on if we want the bus on. But I don't know how else to do that. Let's do one more on the Bravo. Let's take care of our trim wheel. That one's an easy one. I think it's 22 and 23. Yep. All right. So we're going to go again. I'm going to keep on doing that. Go to command. We're going to look for trim. And let's see here. It's mechanical. Yes, there it is. So you have all your different types of trim, right? You have electronic trims, you have mechanical trims, you have trim variables. What we're looking for the physical trim wheel here is the mechanical, which is what that is, trim wheel. So we're going to do trim down first. Should be this one right here. I'm going to select that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come on over here and do a command, paste, and obviously change this to up, and save, and we should get, there she goes. Beautiful. All right. So there's our trim, there's our axis, there's our electronics. I suppose we could, okay, fine, we'll do the flaps. I promise we're getting close. All right, so flaps up, flaps down. Same thing before. I will say I do like this part. And SimConnect has it too, really, for the most part. As long as you know what the verbiage is. I believe it is this one. Yep. Assuming that I selected the right one. Save all. Change that to down. And let's find out. Ticket. All right. Now let's go. Let's do this. We're doing this, darn it. We're going over here to the magnetos, which is kind of a fun one for me. So, we're going to go back to our choose devices for a second. And I'm going to pick the Rote Air 2. Okay, if you guys aren't familiar with the SimFlight Rote Airs, these things are absolutely awesome encoders. They have a bunch of built-in presets already. X-Plane actually already recognizes Type 1 for most of all of your avionics and things like that straight out of the box, like literally no configuration required. Type 2 it does not recognize at all, so I'm going to use the Type 2. That way I don't have to worry about going in and clearing anything. It does take a second to save when the service is running, which is totally okay. All right, so now for our starter, this is kind of fun. I like doing this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, this is just one of my encoders. Let's see, we got a couple encoders here. Which one do I want to use? Let's just use this one. This is the outer encoder, button 17. And we're going to go to our commands. And we're going to look for Magneto. And what we're looking for is Magneto's up 1 notch for engine 1. Okay, so and it has a bunch. You can do all kinds of stuff here. It's kind of fun. So we're gonna do that. Okay, and we're gonna hit save. And if you guys want to see, there it goes. So then I'm gonna find the reverse, obviously. So let's go in and copy that, right? And I think that was 18 that I saw. And we need to obviously change that to down. Right? Boom. Now, here's the weird thing about the Rote Airs, right? So the last thing we're gonna need to start, right? The weird thing about the Rote Airs is if I just tap the push button, you can see it comes off at button 1. But if I press and hold it, this one, interesting enough, is coming up as button 40. Could have sworn that was supposed to come up at, which one came up as 5? That's weird. Those changed. Unless it was one of these that did it. Huh. Anyway, doesn't matter. Long story short, we're interested in the fact that when you tap it, it's 1 button. When you press and hold it, oh, there it goes. See? It changed modes. So anyway, if you have a push encoder, the long story short that I was trying to express, this is specific to the Rote Air. This has nothing to do with the software, just to be clear. So if you have any kind of encoder, it won't do this. But what you're looking for is the button that when you press it and hold it, this is the button we want. So we're going to click on this one, and we're going to go to add press, and we're going to do a hold. Okay. We're going to hit OK. I'm going to get rid of the single press. We don't need it. And then I'm going to come back into my commands. And this is, again, where it gets a little weird. I believe it's actually starter. Yep, engine starter 1. And I'm going to take this down to like 20 milliseconds. I want this to be fast. So, in theory, if we have everything set, we should be able to go full mixture. We should be able to crank our prop up a little bit. We should be able to bring our switches on. We should be able to set our avionics bus. We got to click that one on. We haven't bound our lights yet, so let's do our beacon and our nav lights. And then what we're going to do here is I'm going to set my magnetos. Now it will stop once it reaches that because this is this next part. And then we're going to turn that just so I can see. See? How cool is that? Tell me that's not cool. So you can actually take your encoder and use it as your magneto switch. And the cool thing is that with Hangar Control, you can create different types of conditions and flags and things that will allow a single encoder to do many other things. If you guys want a perfect example of that, if you go and check out my Phoenix A320 video that I did yesterday, it will actually showcase how to do that, as well as just about every video we've done lately has covered conditions, and you can do conditions based on a button state. So for example, if button number 14 on my Bravo is held down, then the encoder will do X and Y. If button 17 is held down, then the encoder will do W and B. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys. We've bound all all the primary functions for today. We'll be doing further videos where we actually go over conditions and flags and all that specifically to X-Plane 12 and going over a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So stay tuned for more videos. I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos. I hope you're enjoying the software for those of you who are trying out. And if you're even on the fence, guys, again, 5 days completely free. Give it a shot. It's unrestricted. You get the full software. If a new patch comes out during that 5 days, you get it as well. So make sure that you guys give it a shot. Overkillsimulations.com. Be sure to create your account first, then click the account button at the top of the page, then download the software, and you're off and running to the races. To all of those who have joined the Discord and have purchased the software and continue to support me and my work, I greatly appreciate you, and stay tuned for more. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.